Hey everyone, I had such fun racing in Le Mans Ultimate the other day. I thought I'd come back and try the week's other GT3 sprint combo at Spa. Now let me warn you, this one is madness. It features one of the most chaotic laps I've ever been involved in, and yet more controversy in the later stages. Am I the victim of another deliberate punt for the second race in a row? I'll let you decide. Now there's no McLaren in this Formula Classic series, so I've also had to switch cars. I'm driving the Ford Mustang for the first time, and I've really struggled with it, so it'll be tough to improve on that P7 from Le Mans last time out. You never know though. Argyle won 5-1 on Saturday, so let's see if I can keep the good times rolling. I'm starting P10 on a grid of 21. Let's get down to business. Well, you may have noticed on the formation lap just then that the BMW right in front of me pulled over just before the bus stop chicane. That was Jason Kay, who'd qualified P8. Now Kay's retired, so that leaves a big gap in front of me as the lights go green. And it'll also give me an immediate position gain. I'm going to reach the source in P9. I've got a BMW on my inside. That's Ed Dodge. I'm going to leave him as much space as I possibly can. The last thing we want in turn 1 is contact and damage, but we've all got through safely. That wider line was slow though. It's put me under attack from Mitchell Ayres. Now it looks like Ayres is sizing up to go too wide through Eau Rouge here, so I'm just going to lift and back out of that one once again, trying to keep myself safe, which is something that at least 2 drivers in front of me haven't done. 2 big crashes coming up through Radalon there. It looked like Austin Gerber and Quinton Mauboussin. That's the 3rd row of the grid. P5 and P6 out of this race, so another 2 positions gained as we approach the end of the Kemmel Straight. I'm up into P8. And I'm surrounded by BMWs. Ed Dodge in 5th, Krishna V in 6th, Mitchell Ayres 7th, me in 8th. There's a big cloud of dust to the left that looks like another BMW in the gravel trap. Yeah, it was Marcus Navarro who started P7 on the grid, so another position gained. I'm making really good progress here on this first lap, up into 7th. Well, I said before the start of the race that I wanted to improve on that P7 that I got at Le Mans last time out. Currently I'm matching it, but of course there is a long way to go. At Le Mans, I made a big mistake on lap 2, which cost me a lot of positions. I've got to make sure I don't do the same again here, but things are looking okay at the moment. I've tucked in behind Mitchell Ayres, and as long as I can stay on his rear spoiler, I will keep myself in contention for a top 5 finish. Meanwhile, behind me, there's another couple of BMWs. Gary Macy right behind me in P8, and then chasing him down, Vadim Podlewski. And given the sheer number of BMWs on the grid, I'm wondering if I chose poorly with this Ford Mustang. It was a completely random pick, choosing 1 from 2 available cars that I own, and it is a real struggle to get it through the corners here. But so far it's got me up into P7. Right, let's check out the replay to see what happened at the start of the lap. We had 2 big crashes coming through Radalon. Austin Gerber was the first, catapulting himself out of P5 there, just taking too much curb on the inside and losing control of his Mercedes. Then right behind him, Quinton Mauboussin, I think, was spooked by the incident right in front of him. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Mauboussin tried to take avoiding action, ended up hitting the same curb, and it was the same end result. Later in the lap, a battle of the BMWs for P3. Marcus Navarro trying a look up the inside of Eric Russell, but runs too close to him. There's contact, and Navarro ends up in the dirt. Right, back to the live action then. It's the start of lap 2, and I'm just 0.4 of a second behind Mitchell Ayres in P6. Even more encouraging is the gap that's opening up behind. Gary Macy is now nearly 1.5 seconds back. Meanwhile, Ayres in front wasn't at all convincing through that section. I wonder if he's starting to feel the pressure, and he's made a big mistake there, out onto the gravel. Immediately I move over to the right of the racetrack just to keep myself safe and give Ayres all the space he needs to rejoin safely. But yeah, that was an easy overtake in the end. I'm up into 6th position. So yeah, this is looking really encouraging. Now have I got the pace to close in on Krishna V in front. He's currently 1.1 seconds ahead of me, but it would be really good to get a bit closer to him and start fighting for a P5 here. It looks like P5 might be as good as I can hope for, because the leading 4 are beginning to make a break for it. The gap to Dodge in 4th, 2.9 seconds now. And let's not forget about Mitchell Ayres behind either. Ayres looks like he's dusted himself down, regained his composure after that mistake earlier in the lap. He is breathing down my neck, just 0.4 of a second behind. But we're now approaching the part of the circuit that I'm really struggling with in this Ford Mustang. It feels so slow through this section. Such hard work to get it through the corners. Oh, a big incident ahead! But I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid it. Trying my best to get around it and keep the car facing in the right direction. It's absolute mayhem here. There are cars going in all directions. Well, how on earth did I survive that? I can't believe I'm still on track. A quick glance in the rearview mirror suggests I may be the only one. Oh no, there's a BMW behind me. Marcus Navarro got through as well. I don't think anyone else did. Federico Carrazza in front of me, clearly carrying damage, which makes me a little bit nervous to make a pass on him. There was no such hesitancy from Navarro, though, diving up the inside of the BMW. Now, I thought Navarro was going for the pit lane then, and this is the messiest end to the lap I think I've ever experienced. I was trying to tiptoe past Carrazza to my left, knowing that he had damage. Then on my right, I thought Navarro was heading down pit lane too, but he suddenly thought better of it. He stayed out on track. I've tried to make an overtake here. We're side by side going through the source, but Navarro is going to have the inside line and he is just going to hold on. But what a chaotic end to this second lap. And it was the race leader, Lasse Burkhardt, who started it all, losing control of his Aston Martin, and from there it was absolute carnage. I've seen a lot in sim racing, but I don't think I've ever seen the entire top 5 take each other out like this. We're on board now with Krishna V in 5th position. He can see the leading 4 are all crashing out, but he shows no intention of slowing down and absolutely drills into them. But yeah, watch the race leader Burkhardt. The rear starts to step out. That's Andrea Capasso right behind him. Now Capasso does everything right. He lifts immediately, but the trouble is he gets hit straight away from Eric Russell behind him. Oh yeah, and poor Capasso in that yellow Mercedes. He was the only one of the front 5 who tried to slow down and be safe, but he took the brunt of it there in the end. And we'll take one final look. This is me doing my very best to avoid everything. I just about manage it. I do get a glancing blow at the end there, but all okay. So I do now find myself in the top 5 and challenging for P4 with Marcus Navarro. Meanwhile, further ahead, Mitchell Ayres, who I was battling with a lap ago, is now leading this race. I think we may have lost Russell. Yes, we have. There's Russell. Well, he survived the last lap by the skin of his teeth, but his luck ran out at Radalon, and that puts me up into P4. Well, I wonder if Russell picked up damage in that incident on the previous lap, or did he just take too much of the curb like so many other drivers before him? It's a big wreck. Mitchell Ayres is so lucky to get through there. And what about Ayres? A lap ago, I was overtaking him and dropping him down into P7. Fast forward one lap, and he is leading this race. He has really profited from that absolute catastrophe. A leading pack meltdown at the end of lap 2. Meanwhile, I'm beginning to wonder if I've got the pace to keep up with Marcus Navarro. I'm trying my best. In fact, I'm trying a little bit too hard. Just getting a bit too greedy on the gas coming out of the bus stop chicane. The rear steps out, and that might be my podium hopes disappearing down the road. And that mistake has also allowed Vinicius Albuquerque behind to close right in. He was a couple of seconds adrift. Now he's within 1 second. So I've got a fight on my hands here to keep hold of P4. Well, as the race went on, I began to struggle more and more with this Ford Mustang. We're now approaching 3/4 race distance. Albuquerque still breathing down my neck. He's within half a second, but just look how much hard work I am making of these corners. I've allowed Navarro to make a break for it. He's more than 5 seconds clear in P3 now, and I've put myself under real pressure from Albuquerque coming down to the source at the start of this 6th lap. Now, I was actually braced for him to launch it up the inside there, but he stayed behind me for now. Oh, wait a minute, he's clipped my rear and has spun me around. Oh, I'm not sure about that. That feels like it might have been deliberate. I mean, I know I'm not the fastest through T1, but Albuquerque never tried to get up the inside. He tucked in behind me, so it does feel like he may have had a little nibble at my rear end and turned me around. Let's see if the replay will show us what happened. Well, I was actually prepared for him to make a move up the inside there, which is why I left a little bit of space, but then taking the wide exit, yeah, there's the contact. It was difficult to see whether I drifted into his line or he drifted into mine. This camera angle may give us a better view. Now, do I hold this outside line consistently? Well, it certainly looked like I was level with the curb there. I didn't seem to be drifting inside. And let's ride on board with Albuquerque, paying particular attention to his steering inputs. Does he turn into me here? Well, no, he doesn't actually. And to be fair to him, it actually looks like he's considering stopping here, but once he sees I'm facing the wrong way in the rearview mirror, he gasses it. So yeah, I don't think that was deliberate. I think we'll have to put that down as a racing incident. Luckily though, I do still find myself inside the top 5. When I rejoined after the spin, I was down in P6. Jonas Novak got past me. However, Novak was running with damage and he let me pass later in the lap. However, my main concern now is not what's in front of me, it's what's behind. Zorro Green has been closing in fast and he is now just 0.5 of a second behind. Now, we've already seen what a mess I'm making of cornering in this Ford Mustang and it is not getting any better. I am putting myself under real pressure now from Green. We switched the TV cam on so we can watch things from Green's on board, but yeah, he is breathing down my neck now. I suspect I'm going to be under attack very soon, so I've got to do everything I can here to try and hold on to this P5. Here we go, Green has got the run down the Kemmel Straight. All I can do is defend, but I don't think it's going to do me any good because Green is absolutely flying past down the left. Can I hold my nerve into LeCun? Well, Green gets there first, but he's leaving me lots of racing room, so that will allow me to challenge. That will allow me to go too wide through this section with him. And do you know what? I've actually held on to the position somehow. I wasn't expecting to, but really fair racing from Green. Immediately I moved defensive into the hairpin just to close off that inside line. I'm really working hard now to try and hold on to this top 5 position. Green's a little bit too close for me to fully open up this corner, so I'm going in tight. That will cost me some speed on exit as we charge down to Pouhon. Have I got enough of an advantage to get there first? Yes, I have. So I'm managing to hold firm at the moment, but I'm not quite sure how long I can keep this up. Sadly, I think we're going to have one more lap after this one, so this is going to be a really tense finale to the race. Green incoming once again. I think he might have come in a little bit too hot though. Yes, he has. He misses the apex there. Has to take avoidant action, so he didn't run into the back of me. That will give me a bit of breathing room, but straight away I make a mistake. Just clipping the gravel on the outside, and immediately any advantage I gained has been thrown away. What's the gap now? There's 0.7, 0.8 of a second. So yeah, this is going to be one really stressful final lap. Right, jumping forward to that final lap, and I was really thankful to maintain that gap through Eau Rouge and Radlon because it meant I stayed just far enough ahead that Green wasn't able to use the toe and make a pass. He has closed in though. It's just 0.4 of a second now as we come through LeCun. In front, Albuquerque is cleared off. He is 4.5 seconds down the road, so this final lap is all about holding on to P5 if I possibly can. But I might be trying just a little bit too hard because I've missed the apex into that hairpin. Thankfully, Green followed me in. Green made the exact same mistake, so no real damage done there. But I've got to admit, I'm not feeling confident because I'm approaching the part of the circuit which is my weakest part. Once we get through Pouhon, I'm really struggling with the right-handers that take us out to Blanchemont. So if Green is going to get an opportunity to try and snatch that P5, that will be where he does it. All I can do is hold my line, hit my braking points, hit the apexes, but in this Ford Mustang, that is easier said than done. Still 0.4 of a second the gap, so it's really close here. I'm trying my best to keep it tight. Looking okay at the moment. This is the big corner I struggle with though. Yeah, I think I might just be braking a little bit too late, which is stopping me from getting the car rotated to square the corner off. As a result, I'm slower through this entire section, and sure enough, Green has the opportunity now. Taking too much of the inside curb mid-corner didn't do me any favours either, and now we're going to be side by side. All I can do is hold the inside line. Now going through this section too wide is incredibly dangerous, but we've already seen how fairly Green races, and he's done it again there. He left me the space I needed on the inside. I left him the space he needed on the outside, but of course I was slower taking the tighter line. And now I'm reliant on a mistake from Green exiting the chicane, and it's actually me who makes the mistake. So yeah, Green gets a thoroughly deserved P5. I have to settle for P6. Very good though. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. So yeah, I did say before the start of the race that my aim was to improve on the P7 I got last time out, and I've done it by 1 position. The classify results are here, and it shows me in P6. Of course, it was disappointing not to hold on to a top 5 position, but I can't complain too much. Look at the fastest laps. Zorro Green a 2:21.8, me a 2:23.1. I have now gained a silver safety rating, but I didn't have the pace today to deserve a top 5. But really intense racing here at Spa. I'm very eventful. I don't think I've ever seen the top 5 take each other out quite like they did at the end of lap 2. Now, I also mentioned my race earlier this week from Le Mans a few times. If you want to check that one out, it's on screen now. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers for now.